Please welcome Moms for Liberty Foundation Board of Directors and America First Polity Executive Director, Katie Gorka.
Good morning. Hasn't this been an incredible summit? Oh my gosh. I always feel like summit is half pep rally, half spiritual retreat. It's so energizing for what we have to go back and do. You know, being here has made me kind of think back to how far you all have come. I don't know if you know this about me, but I happen to have been at Tina and Tiffany's very first public event back in around August, September 21, I think it was. It was at a daycare center in Vero Beach, Florida. We had 4 tables of women, and I just remember tables with piles of Chick-fil-A boxed lunches. And it was an amazing event, and I've been at all 4 summits. And what I was thinking about today was the incredible obstacles at every single summit. So the first one, it was really just a question, could they pull off this big event? But the second one I've got to get the order right. The second one was Philadelphia. Oh my gosh, do you remember the protesters? It was ugly and it was scary. So we had the protesters in Philadelphia. Last year in DC, the incredible hassle over the security and DC not letting them do the rally outside. And they pulled off an incredible event inside. It didn't matter. And this year, losing some of the top keynote speakers because of the government shutdown. But you know what it also made me think about is that every single time Moms for Liberty prevails, and these incredible summits still happen. Because that's what moms do. And so what I wanted to talk about today is how do we now help our great country prevail? So my friend Andrew Klavan, who's a great podcaster, said something recently that really got me thinking. He said, the reason the left is so angry and so violent right now is because they are losing power, and they know it. He said, and they're not just losing political power, I mean, that much is obvious, they're losing the cultural power. Nothing shows it better than the images that we saw from yesterday of those No Kings protests. What do you think the average age was of a No Kings protester? Absolutely. I mean, come on. These are the aging revolutionaries whose Marxist revolution failed in the 60s, and it's continued to fail, and it's never going to succeed in this country because we are the United States. Okay, but here's the thing. We've got an incredible opportunity. We've got a year of celebration of America's 250th. We need to maximize this opportunity, and it's on us. So my first message to you is, don't wait for the government to celebrate it. You need to do it. This is the first thing. Now, within that, I'm just going to say we've got 3 tasks for this year. The first one, and I feel silly saying to this, y'all, because you're doing this all the time, but I'm going to say it again anyway. Educate yourselves. And I'm really excited because Jamie's going to talk about an initiative that Moms for Liberty is launching. And so that's going to solve that question, educating yourselves. Second thing is educate your children. And I'm going to ask for a very specific thing here, and I think it's something that we need to be really mindful about, and that is make sure you look at what your children are being taught about this country. We still have a big problem that there is very, very bad content in our schools, particularly with regard to our own history. We need to find it, expose it, and get it out of the schools. So I'm going to ask you to do that. The third thing I'm going to ask you is make sure you celebrate this year. You know, I was really shocked to learn the other day that New York State just had its 400th birthday. You know how they celebrated? They didn't. They did nothing to mark that. California just celebrated its 170th birthday. You know how they celebrated? They didn't. They didn't do anything. They had one film, apparently, that they submitted, which was a documentary on genocide of indigenous peoples. That was their celebration. We have an incredible opportunity this year to celebrate our nation's founding. The government's going to do all kinds of things. Thank goodness the Trump administration is in place. We heard, one thing we learned was that the instruction from the Biden administration, had they stayed in power, was they were going to commemorate the 250th, but they weren't going to celebrate. We are going to celebrate. But it truly is on all of us because we need all 350 million people in this country to celebrate. That means getting down into our own communities. So take responsibility for it. A lot of towns and communities have their own 250 commissions, but just find a way to celebrate in your community and just let's make this the best possible year for our country. So